So, as you can probably tell by the title, I have decided to read for 24 hours again. What am I thinking? I have done this, or I've attempted to do this twice before, and on both times, I never ever stayed up for the full 24 hours. I always went to sleep at some point during the night. However, this time I'm determined. I am staying up the whole 24 hours. I'll have a nice relaxed night tonight. Maybe catch a couple of hours sleep, might nap for a little bit between like 7 and 10 or whatever. When 12 o'clock hits, I will start my first book because I've not been reading anything since I finished The Horse and His Boy yesterday. I decided not to start anything today. I'm going to start tonight at midnight, work out which books I want to read, and just read for 24 hours. And try and stay up all night. I don't know how this is going to go, I really don't. I don't know if I'll be able to stay up all night. I'll probably be an absolute zombie tomorrow. I'll be dead, but we shall see. Hashtag Readathon by Becca. Why can I smell toast? I smell toast. Why do I smell toast? It is 10 o'clock at night and nobody is cooking. I remember one time in our computing class, our teacher told us that if you could smell burning toast, it meant you were going to faint. Is that actually true? It doesn't smell like burning toast. It just smells like toast. Nobody's been in the kitchen since dinner. And we had salad. Where's the toast? It is currently 10 o'clock. I have 2 hours until the readathon starts. Not gonna lie, I'm low-key dreading this because the more I think about it, I'm gonna be so dead tomorrow. I'm gonna have a little look here and see what I want to read. The books I can't do Chamber of Secrets because that's for my Books for the Brave and that is not until Monday. I can't do the Hunger Games, that's also Monday, and I can't do Twilight. So I am left with some good choices. I'm thinking, because they're smaller, I'll start with Private Peaceful and The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips. I'm thinking I may start Prince Caspian. That could be good fun. I might leave The Voyage of the Dawn Treader for a little bit. Oh, I also have the 2 Lord of the Rings. The Return of the King. So, I'm undecided. I'm also not going to read The Prisoner of Azkaban because I want to read it after I read The Chamber of Secrets. So, that is a no-go. Look at that little cat. But I'm about to go and have some fruit because I need that protein to help keep me awake. Okay, so I changed my mind. I decided to just get ready for bed now. It is currently 10:30 and I think I'm going to try and sleep till 12 or at least till near 12. I very much doubt I'm going to be able to fall asleep right now because I don't normally go to sleep at this time. I'm normally like at least after 12 o'clock, between like 12 and 1 I would say, or between 12 and 2 is my bedtime. It's like 12:30 on a good night. So I'm gonna just put everything down and just try and sleep. I'm gonna have to set an alarm though. Imagine if I slept. Imagine if I slept through it. Let's see how that goes. Not even going to talk about what happened last night. Laura from the future here. Let me tell you what happened. So last night I had this bright idea that I could nap for a couple of hours before the readathon started, thinking that that would refresh me and maybe keep me up all night. But oh god, was I wrong. In the end I didn't sleep at all, and by the time it was midnight I was so tired it was a struggle to stay awake. I managed until 2:30 before I gave in to my tiredness. Granted though, if perhaps I'd got up and maybe exercised for a little bit, I could have made myself more alert, but I stayed lying in bed, and that was my downfall. But anyway, it's a new day. The readathon is still going on. I am 40 pages from the end of Prince Caspian. I read about 100 pages last night. I read another 50 this morning. It's only about 190 pages long, so I'm making good progress. But I'm just about to go with my dad to the vet with my dog Oscar. He had an operation, just a little operation, on Wednesday, so he's just going in today to get it checked out. Don't know, get his stitches checked out or something. I don't really know. But I'm gonna go with him just for a run in the car, just to get out of this small town, because this lockdown is looking like it's gonna be extended for another 3 weeks, or it has been extended for another 3 weeks, I think, in Scotland. So that's good fun. I'm so disappointed I did not stay up last night, but I was just so tired, and I figured like I would just have been dead today. Probably for the best, but oh well, at least I've done some reading. I'm nearly finished my first book, so. But I've chosen a whole bunch of just smaller books to read today. I'll get them over with. So yeah, good fun. Just finished Prince Caspian, and it's not even 12 o'clock yet. Yay! I read a bit in the car while we took my dog to the vet. Everything was fine, so I was reading then, and I've just finished it now that we're home. It was pretty good. To be perfectly honest, I do have a love-hate relationship with these books. I feel like they're good. I didn't enjoy this one as much, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, they're a lot different than I thought they were going to be, because they're a lot smaller. I just imagined really thick books, and the story is quite fast paced, but hey ho, I'm 3 books into May already. I was gonna start The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, but I think I might take a little break. But I may just take a little break from reading C.S. Lewis books, and I'm gonna move on to this children's story that I loved as a kid, The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips. It's about like a young girl during the Second World War, and her cat is in like an out of bounds area that the army has taken over. You know, if they would like take over villages and areas of towns and that for training to make a base basically. So the cat keeps going into out of bounds areas, and the young girl goes after it. That's all I really remember from it. It's been years since I read this, but I figured it's such a short read and it won't take me too long, so I'm doing pretty well. I've read my first book and I have 12 hours to go. But going back to Prince Caspian, I probably would give it maybe 4 stars, maybe 5. I'm undecided. I don't really like giving them 5 stars because I feel like, yeah, they're pretty good, but am I enjoying them as much as a story purely based on the novel, or am I enjoying them more because I love the movies? Like, I was reading Prince Caspian and it just made me think of my old crush on Prince Caspian. But it's awkward because I'm thinking about Ben Barnes. In this book, he's a child. He is a child. They're children. But in my head, I'm thinking about Ben Barnes. What a beautiful man he is. But yeah, they're okay books. I think they're better for children. I do prefer the ones that are more to do with the Pevensey children, more so than the other stories. I'm gonna have some lunch first, and then I'm gonna keep reading. I just finished The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips. It was only about 190 pages long, so roughly about the same as Prince Caspian, so I'm pleased. It's just as good as I do remember it. It's been years since I've read it actually. But it basically is the story of a young girl called Lily who has to evacuate from her farm home because the village where she lives, part of it's being taken over by the armed forces or by the army to practice before they head to Europe. So she's had to move with her family, all the farm stuff, all the farm animals, and move to another farm owned by her uncle. And part of the story, yeah, it follows her story, just kind of, it is very fast paced, and it's written as like a diary. It's supposed to be her diary, so everything's quite fast paced. She's about 12, she's 12, so she's still young, so it is a book aimed for children, but I also think it's quite dark. Like, Michael Morpurgo writes amazing war stories, and they have the same, they do carry the horrors of war, but without being too graphic, gory, brutal, but it's still quite heart-wrenching at times, and it's just a good book. It really is. If you like war stories, even if you don't like war stories, I think you would enjoy it. And yeah, it's about a cat. It's sort of about the cat. Like, the cat doesn't really come into it too much. Like, she's talking about the cat, but the cat keeps disappearing and it keeps going into I'll call it no man's land, but basically it's where the army is training. People, civilians, aren't supposed to be going into it, but the cat keeps going home. But I also felt like, I realised as I was reading this, that it's just so fitting to be reading this today because it's the 75th anniversary of VE Day, so how fitting. So now that I finished one war novel, I'm gonna move on to the next war novel, which is Private Peaceful. I absolutely loved this book growing up. This was one of my favourites, even though it's about war, but it's also about family, brothers, friendship. I am 2 books in on the readathon. Doing good. It is only 3 o'clock. 9 hours to go. It is about 7 o'clock and I have just finished Private Peaceful. I'm doing so well today. I've read 3 books. I really enjoyed Private Peaceful. I have not read it in years, and I always used to say it was my favourite book. I loved Michael Morpurgo books when I was a teenager. I feel like they're done well in a sense that you can read it as a younger person, as a teenager. Maybe not so much a young child under the age of 10. He writes war stories well. Private Peaceful is sad though, I will admit. I feel like The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips, I feel like it is more aimed for children / teenagers. It's written by like a 12-year-old girl. The cat is quite prominent in the story, whereas Private Peaceful is more about the 2 brothers. The first half of this book's mostly like their journey growing up when they're quite young and at school, and then I think by the end of this, the main character Tomo is just 16 or something, 16. So the characters are still young, but dark themes. It's war, but it's not too graphic, it's not too gory, and I feel like it's done well. He wrote War Horse, and that was a amazing book, amazing story, told from the perspective of a horse during the war, which I thought was really good. But I do love Michael Morpurgo books. I have a lot of them and I've read most of them, at least, well, not so much any of his newer stuff. I'm not even sure what he'd be writing recently, but I definitely read the majority of all his books back when I was younger. I'm not sure now if I'm gonna read anything else because I feel like I did well. I've done well so far. I could start The Voyage of the Dawn Treader because I feel like it's another thin one. 189 pages, but I'm unsure if I really want to go down that route again. So I think maybe I may start with The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, The War of the Rings, because mine is split into 2 parts, so I may go for that. So I'm doing well. I read 3 books so far, but they're all relatively short and easy to read. I love Private Peaceful though. That is a 5-star read for me. It's always been one of my favourite books, even though it's quite sad. I'm probably going to give Adolphus Tips, The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips, 5 stars as well, because I feel like it's... I had no complaints. I have no complaint. Good old Michael Marpargo, making me cry. Saturday. The 24-hour readathon by Becca is over. And God, let me tell you, I did not do well. No, that's a lie. I did okay. I read 3 books. I read Prince Caspian, I read The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips, and I read Private Peaceful, and I started Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. But I only read about like 10 pages, so. But I feel like I really let myself down. I let myself down, I've let the team down, I've let the whole of booktube down. I decided to go for a nap before the readathon started, and I only had an hour and a half. By the time I went to bed, I had an hour and a half until the readathon started. I don't know why I thought I could get to sleep in that time and have a nap and be okay, because when I woke up, let me tell you, number 1, I didn't actually sleep. Number 2, when I did kind of groggily glance across at my clock, it was like 1:45 midnight, and I was like, dear God, and I just made myself tired. I was absolutely shattered. I was yawning non-stop as I was trying to read, and I was like, oh God. So therefore, by like trying to sleep before it, I just made myself tired because I didn't actually sleep, but I made myself get ready to sleep because I was in that zone where I was like, a couple more minutes and I would have been gone. I'd have been out, but So I really ruined it for myself there by trying to nap. I will never ever do that again. If I'd have just stayed awake and maybe just kind of run about, maybe did some exercises or something, I would have been absolutely fine. I probably could have stayed up till at least like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then if I wanted to sleep, I could have waited for like a nap then and set an alarm for like 9 or something. But no, instead of that, I went to sleep at 2:30 and I woke up at 9 o'clock. So I lost a good 7 hours of reading. But hey ho, I read 3 books, so I can't really complain. So it's a beautiful day today, and I'm just gonna be sitting reading Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, in the sunshine. I've lathered myself in sunscreen because, you know, you gotta get that vitamin D, but you gotta be responsible with it. Always use protection. So thank you so much for watching this fail of a readathon. Is it a fail? It was a fail for staying up 24 hours, but it was good because I read 3 books. What the fuck? Where did you come from, bitch? Abby! Hello! That scared the life out of me. Hey, bye! Okay, bye. Goodbye. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in my next video, whatever that may be.